Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. In yesterday's last video I discussed the daily chart, so if you like to have a little bit more context, check that one out. In this video, because not too much happened, we want to focus on the shorter time frame. Bitcoin starts a new trading week with a little bit of downside pressure. Nothing major though, nothing major. So we've seen here a little bit of a sell-off, but nothing impulsive at this stage. The situation is fairly well, it's basically unchanged. It's a rather unclear situation here in the very short term. The levels are very clearly defined. $28,300 would be a breakout point to the upside. That would make the yellow wave count, the direct sell-off count, less likely. I'm slightly leaning towards the yellow wave count, which would take us down to around about 26K next in the third wave here. But the problem is the move down is not impulsive yet. So I would either expect further sideways action here for a little longer because we haven't seen any impulse to the downside, or maybe a test of support and then up, or just this, before going down. At least it's not impulsive yet to the downside. I explained in the last video that we had some good bearish setups last week that could have led to that sell-off already, but the bears were not able to follow through. Because the bears were not able to follow through, the bulls certainly got a little bit stronger. So you call that a bearish failure. Whenever we have a bearish failure, we need to be very much aware that maybe the price could easily go into the opposite direction. So we have to be prepared for anything in this range here. But it's literally the $28,300 level that will, for me, distinguish between the two scenarios. The white wave count, which is the more bullish one that could take the price to 30K, and the yellow wave count, which can take the price to 26K next and then even further to the downside. But as you can see, we are still broadly in the same range in which we have been in the last week. So that's roughly between 27K and 28.3K. Not much price action in there. And even in the white wave count, we could see first a lower wave 4 before we go up in a wave 5. Yeah, so it's just not very clear price action. We haven't broken below support, we haven't broken above resistance, but the levels to watch out for this week are 28,300. As I said, a break above that level can take us higher in a fifth wave in the short-term bullish scenario to around about 30K, where we will get the next major decision point, as described in the last videos over the last few weeks. That's still an option, and it just stretches out here sideways. I mean, this could even turn into a wave 4 triangle, I have to say. Okay, very boring. Or, the $27,200 level is something to be watched. Those are last week's lows. And then 27K, which is this important swing low that was made on the 1st of October. So there's a bit of a support range down here, you could even say. There's a bit of a range between these levels, okay? So pay attention to these, and a break below that level, 27K, would likely send us down more accelerated in a third wave to round about 26K next. Why is 26K so important? Well, it is the target for circle wave 3. If we take the length of the wave 1, then we go to the high of the wave 2, and then the 1.618 extension level is around 26K. So that's the next target to the downside if a third wave plays out. But the bears are not clearly winning here. We saw that bearish failure last week. I was able to very quickly make you aware on Telegram and Discord that this move down that we saw here on Friday was only a 3-wave move and only reached a certain Fibonacci support that we could get a bounce back into resistance. That actually happened. The bounce was even taking out previous swing highs. So the bears failed, okay? Even though they succeeded at first, but they failed eventually. No follow through on really, really good bearish setups. And that just indicates, maybe the bulls are coming back in this range. But it depends really all on this resistance level, 28,300. Knowing that level and what would happen in case of a breakout is very important. So 30K is a level to watch in case this level breaks this week. Bigger picture, nothing changed. If you're interested in an analysis on the daily time frame, as I said, check out the last video. At the moment, I can tell you that this yellow wave count for me is still preferred. I'm slightly leaning towards it, but the white wave count is also very likely. If we break above 28,300, that would be my signal level. Yeah, the analysis gives us a signal level that, if broken, tells us that the white wave count is likely playing out. So we are going to watch that signal level. And the yellow wave count, however, even if it fails, could restart from a little higher, right? The yellow wave count could start from here as well. So even if we get one more high, this could just be a higher B wave. So A, B, C in wave B, or if it has topped already now with the last swing high that was made last week, it's a WXY structure. Two possibilities for a bearish top in this range. It ultimately depends on how the price is reacting to that next top, okay? And if we come down in a corrective fashion or impulsive fashion. But until we have, as I said before, 5 waves up and 3 waves down, I cannot confirm that a lasting low has been established on the 11th of September. So it remains important to be flexible in this region. And just observe the structure, be aware of the relevant breakout points. I mean, if you're range trading, you can trade the range. I mean, they are probably all strategies that can apply here, but from an analysis point of view, I cannot clearly confirm which way it's going until we have a breakout. Sometimes you just have to let the market decide. Ether's chart is a little clearer, but it's strange that they go a little bit different ways. But Ether's chart seems a little clearer, which I will talk about in the Ethereum update. That's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Last week we launched our stocks and S&P 500 service. So if you're interested in daily S&P updates and certain stocks updates throughout the week, then check that out. You can find the link in the video description. Have a great start to the week. Bye-bye.